What a weekend. What a last 5 days. I mean, if you really think, if you can encompass everything into one word of what we've seen and what's gone down since the last time we were together, from your solo show, everything else that's going on in the world, the passings that we dealt with, it has been, without further ado, unprecedented.
It has been.
As that word seems to encompass everything that we've been dealing with as of late, but from the players and their boycotting of the games. Fantastic solo show, by the way. I finally got to listen to it. It's been
Appreciate
crazy.
That. Thank you.
And I like how you broke up what went down on Inside the NBA, which was, to me, that was Black America. You're right. The way, in different parts, the way they were able to come at different angles. Then we had the passing of Chadwick Boseman. And that Friday was when I said, I'm done. I'm just going to go end I'm done for the weekend. I got to follow social media, didn't get on at all. Man. It was a toughie. And then wake up this morning to John Thompson passing away at 78 years old. So, Jimmy, with all of that, what you got? I'm going to give you a minute to kind of give your thoughts on everything.
Well, in between those two passings, you had the passing of Lute Olson, legendary Arizona coach who was known for nothing but winning. You had Cliff Robinson, known for most being a Portland Trailblazer, good, solid player. I think he was an all-star several times.
Rocking the headband.
Known for the headband.
Defensive player, yes.
Yeah, I really liked him as a player, so it's sad his passing as well. And the legendary coach, John Thompson, towel over the shoulder. Was he like 6'13"?
Something like that.
Yeah.
He's like the most intimidating coach
He
in
really,
college
really
sports.
was. His players, you never heard a peep out of them when he was talking, or if he said run a play, you're going to run the play. You ain't going to be like Willie Beeman and audible to play and not give it to Julian Washington.
Right.
But Chadwick, obviously, that hit America, that hit the world in such a unique way, in a way that we didn't anticipate. Obviously, to me, Chadwick, and a lot of people have echoed this, one of the most talented actors that we had in the game today. I mean, like Denzel Washington level, his ability to transform himself, his ability to transform his voice. But so much about him in terms of what people are talking about is outside of the brilliant work that he did as Jackie Robinson, as Thurgood Marshall, as the Black Panther. I mean, it go on and on and on, is that he was a genuinely kind, down-to-earth, really good human being.
Yeah.
And in times such as these, with a lot of what America is dealing with, sometimes it's hard to find individuals, especially on a public platform, who we feel that way about, who genuinely give off that vibe publicly, but the people around them who know them intimately echo the exact same thing. So that's really sad. Rest in peace, Chadwick. His legacy will not be forgotten. It will be carried on and furthered.
I totally agree, 100%. For me, a combination of him and John Thompson, like Cliff Robinson, he was a fan favorite of mine.
Yeah.
I was a Blazer fan as a kid with Clyde the Glide Drexler in the era of that, and so I always enjoyed Cliff because of the headband. That was the one thing I really enjoyed the most out of him. So rest in peace. I'm glad that the Blazers all rocked headbands.
They did. That was awesome to see.
Show pay homage to him and their respects. But with Black Panther, the fact that we found out on his death day that he had been battling stage 3 colon cancer for 4 years. So while filming those films that you mentioned, except for 42, he was going in between chemo and surgery to do those roles. And it's funny because talking to wife about it, I was watching when Black Panther first came out, and I saw him in the first battle with M'Baku. I looked at him, I was like, man, he is small. Like, he's a lot smaller than I thought, because this was after he played the role of Vontae Mack in the movie Draft Day. Dude was huge in that film. He was a defensive end at Ohio State, I guess you could say.
Yes, he was.
But he was a big dude, and I was like, man, he was stocky. He was stocky in 42, and when I saw that, I was like, man, he's small. But then come to find out, that was part of the progression. So RIP on that, on Chadwick, and I hope everybody's healing from that, because that did hit the community pretty hard. All people, because like you said, genuinely he was a nice guy. Outside of him was with John Thompson. I've always known about him at Georgetown. I honestly used to think that Georgetown was HBCU. No lie, because of him.
I understand why you would.
No clue that it wasn't until later in my life as I got older. Because I remember him in the Iverson days. That was what I knew about John, and just seeing that big, huge black dude run things. I was like, that's kind of cool. But I was reading about him a little bit, and it was made mention about how impactful he was in that community. He went from a high school coach there, went into collegiately, and he actually, the legend tells it that he brought in one of the most notorious drug dealers in DC in his office and told him to leave Alonzo Mourning alone. And they did. That's power when you can do that in an era, especially in that era when gangs were.
'Cause we're talking about the 80s.
Yes, high profile. You know, and that him being able to do that told me that he was definitely a powerful guy. So